Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my Daily News X, your daily dive into the stories shaping America and beyond. Well, I'm your host, Kramer, and today we're talking about something that is taking a lot of people by surprise. The world's biggest convenience store chain, 7-Eleven, is shutting down hundreds of its stores across the US and Canada. Yes, you heard that right. The store that's practically on every corner might not be there for much longer in some neighborhoods. So what's going on? Why is this happening? And who's going to feel it the most? Well, that's something that we're going to be talking about and discussing right here in this very good segment. Now, here are the facts. Well, 7-Eleven's parent company, 7 Holdings, just announced a major downsizing. That was a couple of weeks ago. They plan to close about 444 stores across North America. That's roughly 3% of their total locations in the US and Canada. And let me tell you something, they're not stopping there. Report says that another 100 to 150 stores could be on shopping block over the next year as the company continues reviewing which ones aren't making enough money for the company. Now, this doesn't mean 7-Eleven is disappearing. I want to get that clear and out of the way. No, as far as I know it. They still have around 13,000 locations. But this move shows that even the most familiar brand aren't immune to economic pressures we're seeing today. So why close hundreds of stores when the company is still massive, big, in the US and Canada? Well, there are a few reasons why, and we need to understand better the situation of what's going on with this company. The number one reason is declining foot traffic. The number of people stopping by for a quick drink or snack has dropped sharply. Analysts say customer visits fell over 7% this year. And that's a big deal when your whole business depends on high volume and small purchases. Another reason is the decline in cigarette and tobacco sales. When they opened a few stores back in the time, when they were starting, as a new business, they were huge on tobacco. I remember back in the times, yeah. But now that is not the case. They used to be huge profit drivers to convenience stores, but the sales have fallen more than 25% since 2019. People are either quitting or switching to vaping or buying online instead. Third problem is inflation and changing consumer habits. With prices climbing on just about everything, from groceries to gas, rent, many people are cutting back on impulsive buys. I'm one of those, by the way. A $4 iced coffee or $3 a snack doesn't sound as convenient when every dollar counts. And finally, we need to consider that there's also a part of corporate cleanup. 7-Eleven says they're trying to optimize their portfolio, meaning that you want to focus on higher traffic, more profitable locations, and close the ones that are losing money. Which makes some sense, If your business is struggling and it's not making money, then I guess it's time to downsize, And I think that's what they're doing right now. So who's going to feel the sting for this the most? Well, 7-Eleven hasn't published a full list yet, but analysts expect closures to hit smaller cities and suburban areas the hardest, especially places where multiple stores sit within just a few miles of each other. Communities already struggling with fewer grocery or corner store options might also take a hit. In some small towns, the one 7-Eleven is where people grab a gallon of milk, snacks, or even dinner on the go. We're already seeing reports of closures in Las Vegas, Chicago, and parts of Texas, where the competition is high and some stores just aren't getting enough daily traffic to stay profitable. Also, urban centers, we still have plenty of 7-Elevens, but those are smaller, lower income, or rural neighborhoods where the next nearest store could be miles away might really feel the impact. Now, this doesn't mean 7-Eleven is failing as a brand. In fact, the company says it's reinvesting in its strongest stores, adding better food options, which I think they're moving towards more food quality items. I think that's the whole idea behind the CEOs and the company in general. More fresh items and even testing new formats with delivery and pickup features. I think it's great, but again, we need to transfer all that to a different type of system. So while hundreds of stores are closing, 7-Eleven is trying to modernize what remains. Think fewer dusty aisles and more fresh sandwiches, smoothies, and ready-to-go meals. But still, this is a wake-up call for the retail world. Even a company built in convenience is being forced to adapt to a slower economy, and new spending habits, and an evolving customer base. So as we watch 7-Eleven lock the doors of hundreds of locations, the big question becomes, how do other chains respond? It's the most recognizable convenience store in North America, has to shrink. What does it say about the broader economy and our changing lifestyles? Well, time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the next time you walk into a neighborhood, 7-Eleven, it might be worth remembering. Not every community is going to have the same convenience much longer. Well, I'm your host, Kramer, and this has been my Daily News X. Please stay informed, stay grounded, and I'll see you the next time. Thank you for coming, and have yourself a great day.